Red Dead Redemption has been out for years, but players are still uncovering its many layers of mysteries. Hey guys, I'm Patty D. This is Top 10 Red Dead Redemption Mysteries. Number 10, Tumbleweed. Abandoned. In the southern county of New Austin, there's a peculiar little town called Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed is basically abandoned in the first game, but Red Dead 2 is a prequel, and in it, the town is doing pretty good despite taking place only 4 years prior to the first game. What happened here is a mystery that actually mirrors real life. There's a rail line that services Armadillo that completely bypasses Tumbleweed, which seriously hurt the local businesses, just completely cut them off. It's also mentioned in the Blackwater Ledger, the in-game newspaper, that wagon after wagon of families have been seen leaving the town. In Red Dead 2, when we meet the Tumbleweed sheriff, a ruthless man named Sam Freeman, he's seen executing a member of the Del Lobo gang without any questioning or trial, and claims he wouldn't hesitate to do it again. He wants to make Tumbleweed a shining light of American obedience, and this could be the final straw that led to the town becoming abandoned altogether. Number 9. Need a hand? Some players have found that if you go fishing behind the mayor's house in story mode, you can catch something rather disturbing. A human arm. Whose arm is this? Why is it here? It turns out that this is related to a stranger mission called Idealism and Pragmatism for Beginners. In the mission, the player visits a fancy Saint Denis mansion party, the home of Mayor Henry Lemieux. The mayor tasks the player with finding and intimidating newspaper tycoon Hector Fellows. After this, we return to the mayor only to discover that his right-hand man, Jean-Marc, is threatening to expose the mayor for these intimidation tactics. The player is then tasked with capturing Jean-Marc so the mayor can talk to him. In the end, the player has to decide, kill Jean-Marc or set him free. If you do decide to kill him, his body is dumped in the river, and when you return to this area later and go fishing, you might catch these hands. Hey guys, if you like this video and you want to see more of this type of stuff, make sure you hit that like button. Number 8, the Night Folk. In Red Dead Redemption 2, there's an area known as the Bayou NWA, a foggy, spooky swampland that is home to gators and moonshiners. Riding through this area at night is already pretty spooky, but if you're in the area around 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., really late at night, you might be attacked by the Night Folk. Sporting tattered, dirty clothes and white face paint, these guys are terrifying and will definitely give you a fright. They set up traps and ambush travelers like the player, attacking with machetes and torches, but they never speak, just making creepy animal noises to signal one another. After the first time the player is ambushed by the Night Folk, when your heart finally stops pounding, there's a chance of coming across a stranger who needs help dealing with the Night Folk, like it unlocks a stranger mission, so watch your back in the bayou. Number 7. The Blackwater Athletics team. If you're the kind of gamer who picks up every item and reads every note, you may have figured this one out on your own. While riding around tall trees, you might happen across a pile of bodies in a hole in the ground. Specifically, you can find them south of the letter L in West Elizabeth on the world map. The corpses are all dressed in football uniforms, sporting the letter B on the front. The simple truth can be found once again in the newspaper. The article is found in Blackwater Ledger number 69 and explains that the members of the Blackwater Athletics Club have been missing for several days, and despite a thorough search of the area, have not been found. This is rumored to be in reference to a real-life Colombian football team that was kidnapped and killed, leaving only one survivor. Number 6. Bright Bouncing Boy. Fans of Grand Theft Auto might notice similarities in this stranger mission that has you piloting a remote control submarine, similar to the infamous annoying RC helicopter mission in Vice City. Meeting inventor Marko Dragic near a pond in Saint Denis, the player helps demonstrate to some folks how this little machine works. If you visit him at his workshop in Dover Hill later in the game after this, there's more to the inventor's tale. The character and his workshop are based on real-world inventor Nikola Tesla, and the in-game workshop is almost an exact replica of Tesla's real-world workshop. Arriving here, the player helps him fire up some electronics, and he reveals his latest creation, a life-size robot. Returning to the workshop later, we find he's tragically died. Collecting some notes around the area reveals more about his intentions, but the coolest part of this mystery is the end. Once all this stuff is concluded, if you're ever wandering northwest of the Grizzlies, you'll find the robot sitting alone at the peak of a mountain saying, "Papa," again and again. Maybe he regrets what he's done? Number 5. Constipated Man. In the town of Valentine, there's a hotel that the player can visit to have a bath or to rest up for the night. But rest might be difficult, as you can hear a man moaning and hollering and making all sorts of commotion behind closed doors. It sounds like something kind of wild is going on in his room, but if you grab up a newspaper in Valentine, you'll find that it's all just an epic potty joke. This man, known as Mr. Presley, is suffering from a disease of the bowels and is quarantining at the hotel. tell. This could be a reference to Elvis Presley given the last name and the fact that he's likely going to die on the toilet. Number 4. Mystery of the Meteorites. In the story mode, just west of Brandywine Drop, there's a house that's been smashed in by a meteor. If you travel further northwest, you can find a crater and there's a second meteor in it. Interestingly, when you pick one of these up, the game says 1 out of 3 and then 2 out of 3, implying that there's some third meteor somewhere to be found. It's also rumored that visiting this area at night, you can see some shooting stars in the sky. Sadly, in 2 years of the Red Dead community searching and searching, this mystery is still unsolved. Some people claim that it's a glitch and there is no third meteor. Only time will tell. Number 3. The Ghost of AGNES DOWD. If you're feeling brave, ride around the Bluewater Marsh area at night in foggy weather and you might hear the haunting cries of a woman. This is the ghost of AGNES DOWD, a terrifying specter trapped in this world, reliving her final moments. Arrive at the right spot and you'll witness her ghost replaying the final moments of her life in random order, each with a different scene happening every time you visit the area, up to a total of 16 different times. This is the kind of spook that keeps you coming back for more. In Shady Belle, you can find her tombstone, which reads, Agnes Dowd, age 19, tragically took her life and others. Number 2. Mount Shann Mystery. North of Emerald Station, you can find a super creepy abandoned hut, full of skeletons in beds, with one corpse sitting at the front of the room facing the rest. There's a note labeled Sermon, and in it there's mention of the second hour under the moon, a savior named Kukawaba, voyager of time and galaxies, and something about worshipping at Mount Shann. This makes sense given that there are some strange drawings in the game that could be interpreted as hinting at aliens existing. If you come back to this area around 2 a.m., the room is filled with a strange green light, and looking up through the ceiling you can actually see a UFO hovering over the hut. Head over to Mount Shann at 2 a.m. and you'll see a similar sight, although this UFO is a little bit smaller. The rest of this mystery is still unsolved. Perhaps the cultists sacrificed themselves to these aliens? Maybe the aliens experimented on them and stole their souls? The theories surrounding this are endless, and given that we also witness UFO activity in Grand Theft Auto 5, it's possible evidence that the games take place in the same universe. And now, number 1. The Strange Man's Cabin. The Strange Man is an enigmatic figure, possibly intended to resemble God or Satan. He appears in both Red Dead Redemption games and is likely a mystery that won't be understood anytime soon. East of Hillhaven Ranch, there's a location known as the Strange Man's Cabin. Paintings inside the cabin change depending on the player's honor level, showing vultures and coyotes if you have low honor, or eagles and bucks if the player's honor level is high. A dead gator can be found beneath the cabin, and if you take a photo here and upload it to Rockstar Social Club, the location is tagged as serial killer. The Strange Man character could be a reference to Mark Twain's novel The Mysterious Stranger, who is also a character referenced in the Fallout series of games. Both of these games have morality systems and narratives that often remark upon humanity's hypocrisy and other moral paradoxes. But whether he's God, the devil, or just some representation of karma, it's exactly this type of stuff that has Red Dead players searching every nook and cranny and uncovering these fascinating mysteries. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'm Patty D, and I'll see you guys in the next video.